you ready? Are you ready for the newest time?
Every time, just catches me.
I have no idea.
Yeah,
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Saturday News. My name is Phil Chambers, and this
is Gareth Morgan. Full name. Oh yeah.
And boy howdy, have we got some news for you. But to kick things off, some a bit more sad news.
Yeah.
Scott Steiner was at an Impact tapings last night in Atlanta, and he collapsed during the tapings. I've got a few quotes from people who were there that I'm just going to read off because really we don't really know that much information about it at this time. So Sean Mustap of Fightful.com tweeted out saying, "Things are looking rough for Scott Steiner, who was rushed to the hospital after collapsing while at Impact doing pre-tapes." And then he replied to that saying, "I don't want to go into much more detail beyond that, but keep him in your thoughts."
That's
Doesn't sound great.
No.
Impact Executive Vice President Scott Steiner was then tweeting saying, "For all concerned parties, Scott Steiner is okay. His family is grateful for everybody's concern and support." And Tommy Dreamer was with him at the hospital, and he said, "I'm at the hospital right now with Scott Steiner and Joey Ryan. Scott Steiner is doing well and under great care. Say a prayer for Big Papa Hump. Holla if you hear me." So yeah, obviously thoughts go out to Scott Steiner.
Yeah.
We hope he's doing well. It's obviously never good news, never nice to hear.
Yeah, and there wasn't, that I was aware of, there wasn't kind of any pre-existing things coming into this where there was cause for concern. And people said that he just looked like he was in a bad condition, backstage. Yeah. So yeah, you never want to hear or see stuff like this, especially from kind of such a big name of wrestling, really. So it's...
Absolutely. Just wanted to say a couple of fun little Scott Steiner stories while I'm here.
Why not?
May as well. We met him at the Starcast that was attached to All In, and we did an interview with him. I was filming it, and Simon Miller was recording the interview. And in it, he called Stephanie McMahon the C word. Just straight out, just went out and said it. I'll put a link to it wherever it is. It's hilarious. And it's still probably the most awkwardly hilarious moment of my professional career. It was so bizarre, we had no idea what to do.
He has the potential just to completely flip any kind of interview. Anytime somebody puts a mic in front of him, you just expect dynamite.
And also, before that as well, he wasn't going to do the interview, and then he's like, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, okay, let's do it."
I've got something to say.
He probably just twinked his head. You know what I can do? I can say this. That'll be fun. So another story before that interview. I don't know if Simon would actually want me telling this story,
well,
but I'm
you're
going to
go.
Anyway.
Why not?
Because Simon was really nervous to go and talk to him, because he really didn't want to go and talk to him. Because as a kid, he was a huge Scott Steiner fan.
Right.
Obviously.
Makes sense, yeah.
And he saw him, I think it was at some WCW show in the UK in London. And he saw him and he went up to him to go and get his autograph. And Scott Steiner shouted at him and chased him down some stairs.
Chased him?
As a little kid.
Was he as big as what he is now? Because I don't feel like there would have been a chase there. I think it would have been more of a...
I think he just shouted and like, "Wah!" And like Miller just legged it off down these stairs because he was terrified.
But I was going to say, what's your problem, Scott Steiner? But no,
Being a heel. Being a heel.
Spot on. MJF has got nothing on old school Scott Steiner.
Chasing this little young kid, Simon Miller, down.
Imagine if Twitter was such a thing back there, where we're like, look at this guy getting chased downstairs. Oh, bless him. He'll be a star someday.
Anyway, get well soon, Scott Steiner.
Yeah, and kind of in vein with this, let's say, kind of 90s WCW theme. That's my segue. I'm going with it. The NWO turned up on SmackDown.
They did indeed.
They were kind of obviously announced that they were going to be on there on a Moment of Bliss, which Nikki Cross returned in.
Yes, as Alexa Bliss's best friend and super fan selfie taker. I guess,
kind of weird that she just disappeared for the Bella Twins one that they had. Was it last week or the week before? And then she's
just weird that they announced her as Alexa Bliss's best friend.
Yeah,
not just Nikki Cross on her own right.
It's take whatever title you can at this point, as long as you're on telly. But yeah, the NWO turned out, they had a bit of a chat. They kind of did the usual stuff where they can't really be tamed, they'll say what they want. Scott Hall just kind of came off really well in this. He was just like the kind of sidekick, just coming out with quips like, yeah, what he said. And it was just, it was really fun. And then not Braun Strowman, and that's coming. Spoiler! Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Cesaro all came out and kind of berated the NWO for a little bit. They squared up and looked like they were going to have a fight, which we all knew just wasn't going to happen. And then Braun came out, they squared up to each other for a little bit, and then Sami Zayn like ducked behind Alexa Bliss and used her as a shield, which got some serious boos and heat. And it was just kind of it was fun to see the NWO again, but I think my major takeaway from this was that Kevin Nash still found a way to bury Goldberg's world title run in 2020. I think you mentioned something about a cattle prod as well. It was.
At least Michael Hamflett will have been having a nice time seeing Kevin Nash back on TV.
I think he was. So yeah, that was the NWO segment, obviously, because they are going to go into the Hall of Fame. It's going to be interesting. I'm wondering now in the weeks coming up to Mania, are we going to have every single one of the Hall of Fame guests on a Moment of Bliss? Because we've had the Bella Twins.
It does seem that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, and who else have we got then? We've got JBL, you've got Batista could come back then for one, that'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what happened there in the NWO. So next matchup that has been announced for the Elimination Chamber, because that card just keeps, I don't know, it just seems like it's on a whim at this point. It's just been changed daily.
They don't seem to care about this show at all, do they?
But we do, we care loads. So it's going to be Daniel Bryan taking on Drew Gulak. That's kind of been teased for the last couple of weeks on SmackDown if you have been watching. Drew Gulak has been kind of commentating on all Daniel Bryan's matches, kind of picking holes in his game, saying, if you do this, you can beat Daniel Bryan, and every time he picks a hole in it, Daniel Bryan still wins anyway, and that hole just doesn't exist. But he was backstage having a chat with Drake Maverick. Maverick was like, I want to kind of be a competitor again, I want to be a contender. What have we got to do to beat somebody like Daniel Bryan? He was like, well, he's got a flaw. It was the roundhouse kick.
Floor 17A.
That was it, 17A, so he's got plenty of flaws. Bryan came in and went, if you think you can kind of outsmart me then, you think you can take advantage of these flaws, why don't you put it to the test in the Elimination Chamber, not in the Elimination Chamber, because at Elimination Chamber.
This should be a really fun match, I think, seeing this sort of new Drew Gulak, critique character of just going deep into people's game plans and pulling out their flaws, seeing that actually come to fruition in a match should be quite entertaining.
I hope he's not just kind of sent out to die. Do you know what I mean? I hope it's not a mini feud and then Bryan goes on and does what he actually is going to do for Mania. I wouldn't mind this kind of being fleshed out a little bit. Maybe bring some more people into it, some bigger stars in where
I think they could have fun with this. And it definitely seems like a Bryan sort of a putting over the younger guys kind of thing.
He looks like he's having fun with it, which is always really important. And then another kind of, let's say, bit of spice added to the Elimination Chamber. It's the SmackDown Tag Titles Elimination Chamber. They had a gauntlet match on SmackDown.
I love gauntlet matches.
It's many a season. What else are you going to do to put people over? You got to have a gauntlet match.
Kind of storylines and character building.
Do you know what made me really giggle? Because this involved everybody in that match. So obviously you had the New Day, you had Heavy Machinery, you had the Usos, you had the Lucha House Party, you had obviously the champions, Miz and Morrison, and I know they called them Rudolph. That was Simon Miller calls them,
Rudolph.
Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. You had everyone in the match, but it made me giggle because obviously the New Day were involved in a lot of gauntlet matches last year. And as soon as they were kind of announced as they came out as the number one kind of entrance in the gauntlet match, I was like, these guys can't catch a break. They're going to wrestle another hour. This is just deep. But they got eliminated straight away. Heavy Machinery went on an absolute tear. They went through 4 teams, and then right at the end, Mr. Ziggles just ruins our party, doesn't he? So
cannot wait for Otis versus Ziggler at Mania.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. It's gotta happen. Surely.
It's gotta happen.
Otis was the most over thing on SmackDown. This was a show that also had the Firefly Funhouse. They had highlight packages.
And the NWO.
And the NWO, yeah, exactly. And he was still the most over thing. Otis is the guy. That means that the stipulation for that gauntlet match was whoever won would come in last at the Chamber. I feel like next week we're gonna have that gauntlet match to decide who comes in first, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's something. There's going to be a match for that because that tends to happen. That's an advantage for them. So can't see them winning it. No, but good for them.
Indeed.
I think that's all my SmackDown. Yeah.
Speaking of SmackDown, what happened after SmackDown? I've been sent in 2 videos by, I need to get their names right because they sent me videos. A beard named Sue on Twitter and Ryan Hassanauer on Twitter as well have sent me these 2 videos. Basically, it was Daniel Bryan versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt in the SmackDown Dark match, and apparently. It's not on the videos, unfortunately, but Daniel Bryan was wrestling as Goldberg in the matches because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You've seen it work for Goldberg, why wouldn't it work for you? So he did 2 spears and then he went to do a jackhammer, but the jackhammer got reversed and then it went into the finish, which is in these videos. So yeah, Brian still lost to the Sister Abigail, obviously, because it's the Fiend. But I really like that as an idea of Brian just pretending to be Goldberg in order to try and beat the Fiend.
See what worked for other people, isn't it?
Genius.
Yeah.
Brian's the best.
He's going to start smashing chairs on his head now and getting a big sledgehammer and doing all that.
And headbutting cupboard doors.
It works. It works for Bill.
What's next?
Next up, we've got a Hall of Fame announcement. It is going to happen on, I think, next Thursday's edition of the After the Bell podcast. If you've not watched it, it's actually quite good. I checked out the Big Show one last night, and he just massively put over the women's division. I just say it's the best thing going right now.
Becky Lynch was really inspiring him or something, wasn't he?
Yeah. He said like for years he kind of wondered she'd go to Ireland, obviously, and like when they were touring, and he'd see it kind of wrestle out of her skin. He was like, oh, she's just doing this because it's Ireland. Then it'd be the next show somewhere else, and he'd be like, oh, she's actually going for it in every single match. And he said like the level of competitiveness within the women's roster, he said that's something that's maybe missing in the men's side of things right now. Like people just seemed happy to be there. Everyone's being nice people, just kind of shaking each other's hands, going, yeah, I'm here. Where the women were like, no, I want your spot. Yeah. And then the women at the top don't want to give up that spot. So it's a really, really good state of things right now. But that's after the bell. But the announcement. There's a few people it could be, a Hall of Fame announcement. We've got a few theories. I, for one, think it may be Christian.
Christian would make sense with all the Edge stuff going on in this WrestleMania.
Exactly. It could be Jushin Thunder
Liger.
There's
been rumours of Jushin Liger. Obviously, he did his big retirement tour, a big year of retirement tour, and then ended it at Wrestle Kingdom. Like, if you're going to put in Liger, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, and then maybe...
he's 100% worthy of it.
Oh, yeah, too right. And then maybe the British Bulldog, but it feels like a bit of not an afterthought induction at this point, but because it's so late in the day, it's a bit like he should be your top of the bill, really.
Yeah, Liger's the one. Liger deserves it.
Yeah. So yeah, that'll be good. That's a reason to tune into After the Bell.
Indeed.
Yeah, and I think on WWE Backstage as well, AJ Styles is going to be the guest next week. So that's good as well.
Cool. Moving on. And I've not actually told him about this, but it's been a strange week for wrestling Twitter and WhatCulture. First off, we started the week with Nyla Rose tweeting out a picture of her wearing Simon Miller Gave Me an Up t-shirt.
I saw that was cool.
Which was just brilliant.
Yeah.
And then there was the whole hashtag search for Spears stuff that was going on AEW Dynamite of Sean Spears looking for his next tag team partner, asking for people to send in 30-second videos. Simon Miller sent in a 30-second video, went mental on Twitter.
It was
Cody
epic.
retweeted it. Yeah. Sean Spears retweeted it, and then he put out this poll that Simon's like insanely leading.
Check out the Y video as well that he just did, Nick, because that was one of the most inspirational things I've seen in a while.
It's a very good video. It's not just him pleading to be, to get a job with AEW. It's actually a really inspirational video. It's really good. But finally, we ended the crazy Twitterverse with Baron Corbin. He replied to one of Simon's tweets to his Search for Spears thing, just saying that I would pay you a lot of money for this not to happen so I can laugh at it.
You know, Baron Corbin's my guy on Twitter, and he comes out with some good stuff.
He
does. Keeps me giggling, but this is too far, Baron.
So I retweeted that from the WhatCulture account, just saying, I guess Baron Corbin isn't a fan then.
Yeah, all right.
And he replied, just with that.
No!
So...
I thought we had something special.
So I thought I'd end this video, because he obviously watches.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool.
With a plea to Baron Corbin, what can we do to get you back as a fan? Obviously, we had you once. You've watched, you know Simon Miller, you know the ups and downs.
I don't know if we want him as a fan, Phil. I'll be honest. You're trying to get him on side. I feel upset.
I will go out and say that I would very, very happily never see any of that Roman Reigns dog crap ever again.
Right.
So if we can just not talk about the last 5 months of your career, Baron Corbin.
That's fine. So wait, so you won King of the Ring.
You won King of the Ring.
Let's
go back to that. Let's go back to that high. Let's go back to whatever this is he's doing with Elias on SmackDown.
Yeah.
But Baron, how can we get you back as a fan? We know you watch. We know you're not a huge fan at the minute.
You want the edge.
But you once were. We can get you back. What can we do? Believe. Help me to help you.
This is a very personal quest for you. I'm different now. I'm just annoyed by Baron. I thought I trusted you, man. I don't know. We'll see. You have to get me. You're gonna have to get me to come round now because I'm upset by Baron.
Well, that's for him to do.
Yeah, you can do that. You can find me on Twitter, gmorgan04. You know where I am.
And that's the news. Throwing my phone across the room because it's Saturday and that's just, we don't care on Saturdays. Wreck the joint.
That's the plan. Okay. I hope you've not wrecked that.
My phone's okay.
Okay.
You can follow me on Twitter at PhilMyChambers, and you can follow Gareth
Baron Corbin, you can follow me at gmorgan04. I'm watching you, all right?
Baron Corbin, you can follow all of us at WhatCulture, at WhatCulture WWE, and the rest of you can too. Make sure you join us in later for a full SmackDown review podcast going up on iTunes and Spotify. There's ups and downs for SmackDown coming. There's an Elimination Chamber quiz, which is very fun, coming up later on today.
And there's also ups and downs tomorrow for UFC 248, which I will be covering. On WhatCulture Combat, because I forgot where I was doing that for a second. Yeah, it's going to be there. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all things.
Definitely subscribe to WhatCulture Combat for all of the WhatCulture style things, but about combat things.
Yeah, a lot of that. A lot of fisticuffs and kicks.
That's how they do it.
I'm not going to kick.
I know combat. And also go
me.
subscribe to Kayfabe News on YouTube as well, because that's me and Simon Miller making satirical wrestling videos. And trust us, there is lots and lots of room for satire in the world of wrestling.
It is
and
good.
It's good fun, so please go and subscribe to that. And that's it. Got nothing else to plug. So go and have yourselves a bloody wonderful day. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you soon.